August, baby. Icky. August, baby.
Captain by a hook with a red beard. Cap by a hook with
Hitting
a
that
red
remix
beard.
today. August, baby. Icky. Man. Yes, sir. August, baby. August 18th to be exact. Got a lot of things rocking today. Of course, I got my man JCP on standby. Be here momentarily. I want to talk some pitching stuff. The Cy Young Award has been on my mind all week for a few reasons. One, as a fan, it's that time of year in baseball, baby, where the games start to matter. You start wondering who's going to make the playoffs? Who's going to make a wild card push? Who's going to be the MVP? Who's going to win the Cy Young? Who's winning the World Series? That's why the Cy Young's been on my mind a lot this week. Excuse me. Want to talk about it mostly in the National League. The American League, Garrett Cole seems to have it locked up. Want to talk about that a little more. Also, 8 players already got 30 plus home runs across the league. 10 to about 500 players on the list to hit 30, or at least they got a chance. Also, going to talk about some futures, baby. In the NFL, going to break down 4 divisions with my man JCP. This is Captain by a Hook, presented by Stare Down Sports. With the red beard, I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs. Going live the 18th of August, and without further ado, my man from the JC Pod on YouTube. You can follow him on the X, baby, at Jaden95 Chandler.
Hey.
My man, JC to the P. What's the damn deal with you on this beautiful mid-August Friday as you get ready for the football season? As the baseball season winds down, how we feeling today, man?
I'm ready to run through a brick wall. I just listened to Autumn Wind again for the second time today. I'm telling you, I listen to that once a day, once before when I wake up, once before I go to bed.
Get the blood flowing.
First minute, get the juice flowing. Oh, dude, I'm ready to go.
Let me tell you
How
something
we
that's going to
doing
get you
over
even more ready to go, baby. It's exactly from this day, 80 days until college basketball kicks off, baby. Not only do we have football, we got college basketball on the
And?
horizon.
And
And
3 weeks to my birthday.
hey, I
We
didn't know.
get a little NFL game going into an off day Friday. It's gonna be amazing. I love it. I love little thing. My birthday ends up a little nice because every few years it ends up falling on an NFL day, which is like probably the one best part about it. There's some days where it's like I wake up, it's like, man, I just grew up a year and we got some NFL football. It's a blessing. That's why the one thing I do love about my birthday is usually when I'm celebrating, it's like, hey, we're back, baby.
Hey,
We're almost back. 3 weeks.
gotta love it, man. Got to love it. That is perfect, man. My birthday actually lines up usually the weekend before training camp starts off. My dad told me my whole life, your birthday
Oh,
is
shit.
when football season starts. But your birthday is actually when football season usually starts.
I was like, yours when it starts.
Yeah, I usually got the
Your birthday's week 0, as they say in the college world.
That's my least favorite thing about it, man. I didn't even know about it until last year. I don't know how long it's been going on. Maybe I'm out of touch.
Oh, I think it's been a while.
Last year was the first year I really figured, like, I really heard it. I don't know. Maybe I don't pay attention to it. I be in baseball mode, man. I usually don't get excited about football until literally, like, I look up and, oh, LSU plays today. Saints play in the next week. But I'm usually always baseball mode. Speaking of baseball, man, right now, you got 13 pitchers. 13 pitchers. You got 4 pitchers with 13 wins. Zach Gallen, Spencer Strider, Taiwan Walker, surprisingly, and Justin Steele for the Cubs all have 13 wins. And then right behind them, I just wanted to say this because this guy, Charlie Morton, somehow has 12 wins on the season. That shows you how great that Atlanta offense is. Max Scherzer and Zach Eflin, the other pitchers with 12 wins on the season.
Dax, Matt, shout out, representing. Only one representing for the team this year.
Right. Earlier in May and in June, I took tickets on Zach Gallen and Garrett Cole at some good numbers that you can't get now. The only guy that scares me really is Justin Steele on this list. He's 13-3, ERA at 2.79. The only reason I'm not too scared, but I'm thinking about taking a hedge ticket on Justin Steele at plus 650 just in case he does somehow catch Zach Gallen in this race. But Zach Gallen, more innings pitched, and Zach Gallen has better stats in every stat besides the ERA in the loss column.
It's just the Diamondbacks have sucked for a little bit, so he hasn't been able to get like a win or two here and there. And the ERA's ballooned, not ballooned, I guess, but it's gone up a little bit.
It's 3.17. The one thing though that does scare me, and I don't even know if it matters. What if the Cubs do make the playoffs? Diamondbacks don't make the playoffs. Justin Steele doesn't get another loss. Ends up like 16, 17-3. ERA
I
doesn't
say, you
go
know how the
over
media
3.
goes with those awards too. So yeah, I mean that's not a bad play at all. I kind of like Justin. We were talking about it a little bit. I mean, I literally haven't heard about that dude in a month, and you read out his stats like, oh yeah, that's what I heard about a month ago. Except it was a little bit better.
Been consistent,
Like,
man.
category. I mean, he's playing amazing. I think he's damn near partially. I don't want to say it's obviously all just him because the Cubs are having a truly special year, but he's one of the main reasons the Cubs are doing so well as they are. And the fact that they were supposed to sell Bellinger, supposed to get rid of everyone, and now they're passing the Reds basically right there, trying to sneak in the back door, trying to get in the club at midnight.
I think they actually. I don't know. I haven't looked at this number, but I think they are making the playoffs. I think they're going to
I think they
be
should.
one of those teams, whether they catch the Brewers at 2 games behind them in the division, or right now, as
Oh.
it stands, I mean, they're tied with the Reds and the Marlins.
Brewers just got swept too, so they might be on a bad little rut.
The Dodgers. The Brooklyn. Bro, 11 in a row. It is crazy. I think they're about to win 25
All right.
straight, man.
About to do with Rays at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they look like unstoppable. It seems like anytime they just they win games any way they need to. 13-3, 4-3, 1-0, 17-15. Like they just win. Their pitchers give up hella runs, they score hella runs.
Man.
Their offense can't score, their pitchers know when to lock it in. It's crazy. It's like it's insane. The give and take. They are having some really good baseball right now. While
Man.
everybody else seems to be kind of like trying to survive, at least majority of the playoffs teams. Also, shout out my New York Yankees. First time under 500 since 1995.
You don't even remember
They are really
1995, do you?
Peyton Manning was drafted that year. My mom went to the draft party.
95?
Yeah.
I thought he was drafted like 98.
He should have been in the Colts with 95, I believe. I could be totally wrong, but I am fairly confident he was drafted in 1995.
Only reason I think I'm about to look it up, but only reason I think I'm right because I feel like I remember Peyton Manning playing at Tennessee.
He was 90. What was I thinking of 95 then? Something was in 95. Might have been the Colts when they got new uniforms.
Okay.
That might be what it is. They got that's when his Peyton's first rookie year. They had, if you remember, they had those bright blues with the blue visor, the white helmet. That's what I'm thinking of. I remember seeing him in those, so I just always associate, I guess, that with him being drafted then. But nope, his ass was at Tennessee. You were right.
I remember it, man. That boy's from New Orleans.
That's pretty. Hey, you were alive. I was not. So congrats. I say you should know that a little bit better than me. I was born a few years later. 1 year exactly after 98.
99, man. I
Yeah,
can't
shout out
believe
that
how
boy
young
Peyton.
you are sometimes. The youth.
I'm old.
Can't waste your youth, man. You got your whole 20s ahead of you.
We ain't hear about my 20s. We're here about baseball. Damn it.
Hey, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks from now, you're gonna be 20, whatever. Get a
Big
year
COVID
older,
year.
a year wiser.
A year aged. My body beat up from football, dying on me.
Hey,
1
man.
year closer to CTE and not remembering who my name is. 1 year away from they're like, hey, who's that? It's like, that's you, idiot. Oh, hey.
All
Shout out,
timers
man.
at
No,
32.
shout out for real though. Damn near. All timers at 32. 2 hip replacements at the age of 40. I'm just kidding. I didn't have an NFL career. That's damn near the NFL career motto. And Shannon's 54. I know this is way off topic. Shannon Sharp's 54 and has had 2 hip surgeries and I think a shoulder surgery. And it's like, bro. I'm glad I didn't make the NFL for that reason.
He's also announced he's gonna be with First Take moving forward.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting to watch. I think and then Pat McAfee's basically right after that Stephen A. show. That's going to be a good little morning segment for ESPN. They might just be able to bring back their program.
Bring back the brand. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm waiting for ESPN Bet to take over this thing. I'm waiting for it. That's what I'm gonna rock
I
with.
mean, they might be up there with FanDuel. I think they'll easily. I mean, because I think it basically like I want to say it goes like FanDuel, DraftKings, and then there's like point. There's like what's it called? There's like some action sports, whatever, MGM, and then all those categories right here. I could easily see an ESPN just passing all those, being up there with the FanDuels and DraftKings right away.
No, I mean I'm already signed
They're
up.
gonna push the shit out of it.
Yeah,
I agree
man.
with you.
I think it's gonna be a familiar layout for a lot of people that's been using the
When does it
ESPN
start?
app. That's the only thing that sucks. It starts in November, but
Oh, that's when.
they're taking over the book that I use already. So I'm like, just gonna be just whenever it happens. They said all my bets gonna get carried over. Everything's gonna just be smooth.
And then they're gonna log in and be like, "Gotcha, bitch, give us some money."
As long as I got my Cy Young, Zach Gallen, and Garrett Cole tickets, I'm happy, man. That's gonna be a good Thanksgiving
Man,
week,
give me them Cy Youngs.
man.
Way to go full circle right there. We just brought it back. I thought before we get right back in baseball, I thought we were about to lose it right there. We started
Oh man,
started wobbling on those tracks, but hey, great host, bring us right back.
I think I got a future in this business, man. 8 players with 30 plus home runs thus far on the season: Adolis Garcia, Kyle Schwarber, Jorge Soler. I don't know why I decided to read names because I'm horrible with names. Louis Robert, or Louis Robert Jr., as you call him, Mookie Betts, Pete Alonso, Shohei Ohtani, and Matt Olson leading the pack with 43. And then you got about 10 to, of course, 50 names that could reach 30 by the end of the season. The one name I want to shout out to, though, and he needs to heat it up, put his team on his back, Christian Walker for the Diamondbacks is quietly at 28. He needs to get hot and maybe hit 35 plus the rest of the season. He needs to be one of the guys that carries his team to the playoffs. They need a bat that's a veteran bat to step up and really take control and take over. Give their pitching staff some days off by hitting some bombs, man. Get them some runs. Diamondbacks got the talent to make a playoff run. They breaking my heart that they not. However, if they don't, I feel like they'll deserve it. So I really don't care. But I just want to shout out Christian Walker and put a little firecracker under him. Tell him get that team going, man. 28 home runs. Shout out to him. Hopefully he can get to 35, maybe even 40. Maybe they can make a playoff push. Zach Gallen's about to win a Cy Young. Christian Walker, where you at? Shout out to him with 28 home runs. Of course, there's a bunch of other players, big names already. He's the one kind of not big name. You got Austin Riley, Max Muncy, Rafael Devers, Acuna Jr., Nolan Arenado, my guy, with 25. Man, last night I decided to put in a total bases parlay at the last minute. Pete Alonso, Franklin Door, Goldie, and Arenado.
Missed by one.
Goldie and Arenado both didn't get it.
Oh, that's nice. At least you didn't have to like feel like bad about yourself and give yourself an excuse like, oh man, if I could just do it again next time.
Oh yeah, no. It was a complete third Budweiser of the night move right before the game started.
If you split up your $500 into $250 parlays,
you could lose it across too. But yeah, man, baseball
but if
season.
one wins,
my bad.
No, I said, but if one wins,
hey, you never know what you never know.
Shout out that boy.
Hey, they giving the gambling advice to everybody these days.
Hey, that doesn't mean you got to take it.
Yeah, man.
Like being in the library. You don't got to read the book.
You got to go. I think you got to be 10 years deep before you could really start.
Right, like they should be able to have a login to know, like even on the offshore books, know when you started. Be like, all right, it's kind of like YouTube with the verification progress. When you get like 1,000 subscribers, like, all right, now we get it. Now you can give out some advice. Now you can give out you really are still parlaying after 10 years. Now you can give it out.
Speaking of offshores, man, I've seen a lot of regulations and BS from these American books sending a lot of bettors back offshores, even though it's legal now here because of the limits and because of everything and just being able to freely bet whatever you want offshores. There is a lot of restrictions on books out here. The book I use, honestly, right now, it's hard. I don't really mind it because I'm just a straight bettor. I don't really get too crazy with my bets, but like I noticed I couldn't do a teaser just on the NFL Week 1 yet. They'll probably change it by the time it gets there. But just little stuff like that, I'm
Hopefully.
like, man,
No, I know.
I just want to go
Exactly.
crazy. Let me go crazy. Even though you
There's
shouldn't go
some.
crazy. Gamble responsibly,
Yeah.
but when I
Yeah, I'm
do,
saying that is exactly why they do it. It's because those people that go crazy have no self control. Like honestly, at the end of the day, I'm with you. I know I truly do get it. Like I wish they would like let you go freely, but thankfully I'm to the point where it shouldn't have. If it doesn't affect you as long as you're like basically responsible with it. Like people like you and I who are like basically the same consistent amount every single time. Those books are going to realize and be like, okay, so if one day, say I'm betting $25 a game, if all of a sudden I want to bet 2,500 on one random game, the book's going to be like, whoa, 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 are you sure you want to do this? You're only betting 20 a game, man. Where did this come from? I do like that aspect of it because it does keep people like in a little bit of self control because there are some people that are just like, sorry, Grandma, I bet my house and your house on the Chiefs and they lost, so got to move out in 20 days. Like there's some people they just have no self control. But I do get it. But at the same other time, it kind of does suck. You should be able to like have a way to turn it on and off a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's kind of I feel like that is one of the few things where I'm like, yeah, I kind of get the responsible gambling part of it. But I will admit there are some buddies I have that it's like, boy, you need to probably get off the book, man. You're down a lot. Everyone's fading you. You just need
got
to
a
quit.
problem.
I don't want to. I don't want to shout out my boy and do him dirty, but I'll admit there was a stretch where it's like the second he said his stuff in the group chat, it's like, ow. If you saw one, every time I saw he had one of the same teams as I'm like, we done so. And sure enough,
Nah,
no.
that's crazy. We all got that one friend, man. Believe it or not, we all
Oh,
got
hey,
that one
at
friend.
least he's already rich, so we don't got to worry about it. But goddamn, shout out my boy.
Shout out your boy.
Hey, he does win some bets. Hey, I'll admit, and I'm not saying he's a complete trash. He does win some bets, but man, there was a stretch where it's like, boy, you gotta. Hey, let us know what you're taking before we all go, please.
No, trust me, man. Everybody's got that one friend, and they not afraid to share it. They will tell everybody that they can, like, "Hey, man, just fade this guy. You'll have a pretty good weekend." There's a lot of cats. There's a lot of cats. I'm gonna be honest with you on the radio that I listen to, and it's 2 or 3 of them that I constantly like. I'll fade them just cause I don't even have to like the other side. Like it'll just be like, "Oh, okay, you going there? I already know where
I
I'm
ain't
going."
going there.
I'm going right opposite of you, and I'm gonna sit there and feel confident about myself due to the history of the best that you've given out on this radio station.
Shout out
This
those people. Those are a key part of society. We definitely need some of those people because hey, somebody's got to keep the sports books going.
Hey, and I do get it, man. Everybody goes cold, and everybody has hot
Oh yeah,
streaks. And there's probably times where you
name
can
of the
fade
game,
me
baby.
10 days in a row, and it'll work out for you in your favor. Uh, but watch out now.
You should have saw my football picks last year. I mean, you could. There was probably a month stretch where it's like, hey, you could have just whatever I said. You could have gone the opposite and probably got out highway robbery with some of those games.
Hey,
Just how it be, baby.
this season for Captain By a Hook with the red beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I'm gonna need my football insider to be a little better. Now I'm playing.
Bro, you know you want to hear the worst part though? Is like I didn't have a losing record.
Right.
I was like, I was 100. The year before, I was 179 and 92. So
Just
then when you're like 100 and like, what I was probably like 100 and like 50 and 110 or like 140 and 120. So it's something like that. But it's like, I know what I can do. It's like, I was comparing I'm like the Yankees fan. I had a good year, but it's like, do better.
That's the best for the description. You made a lot of money, but I didn't win a championship.
Basically, yeah. I didn't win pick'em. I finished about third or fourth, which means I was not consistent enough, and that was the issue. Consistency is where it's at. We're gonna have a great year, man. I mean, like I said, baseball. You know what's awesome because now baseball is actually starting to matter because it's starting to get to August and September. They're tying up the spikes. They're getting warmed up on the hardwood. I mean, this is truly when now we go.
I had an amazing.
Now we go.
I had a decent football season last year, college and pros. I had an amazing college basketball season.
Shout out TCU.
And so far, yeah, I rode them a lot until Georgia.
Hey.
And then I put a lot on Georgia, but yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I know you remember that show. I had to be the guy. I had to be the mark on the show for us. I had to do it. Had to be the square. Give me TCU, and then they 65-7. Woo! Ass whooping.
Man, please. And then yeah, I've had a decent baseball season. But I am looking forward to getting back to some football betting. And speaking of football betting, there's 4 division futures that I already put in personally. 2 in the AFC and 2 in the NFC. I figured we could talk about those 4 divisions today. And next Friday, I get you on here. We could talk deep dive into week 0, baby. The dumbest term I've ever heard. Because if they playing games, it's week 1, no matter what you want to call it.
I'm here.
But we can get those bets and the other 4 divisions out next Friday. The first division I want to start with is maybe the most popular one due to the Hard Knocks episodes. Maybe the most popular due to the trading for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe the most popular for their recent signing to the running back room, Dalvin Cook, New York Jets, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. In the AFC East, I hate to do it. I hate to say it, but at plus 250, I am on the Jets and I'm riding the wagon. What's your thoughts on this division? I can give you mine first or second if you want. I don't have much on anything.
Your show. You do what you want, bad boy.
Pretty negatively. Patriots, I think, are going to be better than expected. Don't think they compete for this division. Dolphins, I think, are going to be a 5 to 6 win team. That is a bold prediction that is probably wrong. Just my thoughts on the Dolphins. Buffalo Bills, I think they have a solid 10 to 11 win season. I think the Jets get this division by 1 to 2 games. And it'll be them sweeping the Buffalo Bills that allow them to win this division. And that means I'm calling it week 1, baby. Jets go 1-0. Also, I do think Jets end up going 2-2 to start the season and then somehow win 8 to 10 straight, having one of those stretches where they just look unstoppable until December comes. But I'm on the Jets for this division at plus 250. Where are you leaning? What you thinking? If you have any thoughts on any of these teams?
Yeah. Let me just read you odds real quick. These are as of probably I think like 2-3 weeks ago for some of the people listening, so it could be a little bit off. But Jets plus 250, Bills plus 120, Dolphins plus 290, Pats plus 800. Basically, go with you. Patriots are going to be a lot better than last year. They actually have an offensive coordinator, but I'm with you. I don't see them. Nah, they ain't going to win it. Dolphins, kind of in the same boat. I'm not as brutal to them as you are with 6 or 7 wins. I think they'll do a little bit better than that. But I don't, like I said, it's another thing where I don't know if they're going to win a division. I feel like they're still missing like a piece or two, and they need to be. With Tua out last year, I felt like they didn't get their chance because they were really good. Don't get me wrong, they're really good with Tua, but I felt like they didn't get their chance to be like, what's the piece we're missing? I feel like this is their year where they're like, oh, like for example, they have a really good year, maybe even make the wild card, losing the wild card because they get sacked four times. It's like, oh, we just need a right guard and then we're good to go. I feel like it's more of a year for them. That basically leaves me between the Jets and the Bills, and I hate to say it because I hate usually going with the overly hyped team that for years and years and years and years and years and years has been butt cheeks. But I also, that's where you get that with both of them, the Bills and the Jets. So I mean, it's kind of like choosing between the two swords. I like the odds for the Jets at plus 250 for sure, and it's one of those things where it's like, as much as I do hate the hype, and the Jets have a horrendous schedule. I think it's like top 5 hardest schedule in the NFL. It's gonna be really tough. I mean, make the AFC game, the AFC Championship game plus 470 to win the AFC Championships plus 1,000. Garrett Wilson have 10 touchdowns is plus 125. All those numbers are top 3 basically when it comes to betting odds in the NFL. Over under at 9.5 minus 122. So they're expected to do great things. At least go 10-7 this year. I truly think that. Honestly, yeah, I think like the Jets are going to have a decent year. Because best part is too, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be great. He just has to be good because their defense. I mean, if you're watching Hard Knocks, people, Quinnen Williams had 11 sacks at one time. I mean, he absolutely.
I did see that clip.
Torched them boys. That was odd. I'll admit, shout out to Hard Knocks, by the way. This is the first year in a while where it's actually like really, really good. They brought up on the Pat McAfee show, and it's a really good point. We love the feel good stories, but let's be honest, we don't hear the feel good story. The 62 man on the roster is not going to make the roster. Let us hear about the stars. Let us hear from the stars and everything. So that's really nice to hear, like from like the Quinnen Williams, Aaron Rodgers, because they're hearing about that part. So shout out Hard Knocks for that. That's truly awesome this year. And yeah, like I said, their defense is going to be amazing. You can just see it from the meetings even too. Like, oh my God, we got that guy. Like, I mean, you want to talk about getting on your knees and shining his balls. I mean, the whole Jets organization is doing that. I mean, it's truly awesome though. I mean, it's well deserved. Aaron Rodgers is hopefully going to bring a legacy with him. Looks a little weird in the 8, but I'm excited, man. I think Jets are going to do decent.
Yeah, last 2 things I want to say about the Jets, man. I am scared of the teams that usually have the hype around them. It's been the Bills the last few seasons, and we've seen them fall on their face. And if you look at the MLB, the Toronto Blue Jays had all the hype coming in. Not that they can't make a run and do something in the playoffs, but they just haven't looked like the team that they're supposed to look like. And now you got the Jets with all the hype on them. And also, though, if you think about it, and I hate to even compare Aaron Rodgers to Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, even though I mean he's just as good. You see
Oh,
Peyton
the move
Manning play his last 2 seasons with the Broncos. You seen
one.
Brady last 2 seasons with the Bucks. It kind of
That
does
one
feel
too.
right that uh, he does have another little. I don't even know what you call it, but you got the Packers for 18, whatever, 20 years, and then now you got 2 or 3 years with the Jets.
I think I said this like I think 2 weeks ago, maybe, right? It was like the stat where it's like top 10 defense, really young offense. Peyton moves to Denver, they win a Super Bowl that year. Tom Brady, like you said, moved to the Bucks this year. This yearly, I mean Russell Wilson last year.
That's the only one that didn't
We
work
don't talk
out
about that
because
one.
Stafford
Exactly. And
before
it's because
that he goes to LA and just
but if you saw Russell Wilson the year before, he kind of was digressing a little bit, I guess. So it's like even that one will add it in. I mean, that's 2 for 3. That's 66%. It's not bad. And this is I feel like the Jets are in a bit of a better spot than the Broncos were. I know the Broncos defense was really, really good and they had a really, really good offense, but with Nathaniel Hackett as the head coach for that team, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I don't know about Robert Saleh either. So I don't know about that point. But it's like you said to your point, really good defense, really young and talented offense. Those two guys go win Super Bowls. Why can't Aaron Rodgers do it? I mean, you still can sling the pill a little bit.
man, he has one of the best arms I've ever seen in the game. But I do want to talk about the
Terrible.
Broncos, but I want to get to them next week for sure. Because I don't know, man. I think Russ is gonna have a bounce back year. But like I said, we could talk about them a little more next
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Uh,
He'll definitely do better. Just how much is better? Like, the
Sean
tease.
Payton, man, I think he's gonna get this team rolling and rocking.
Oh, that's why you said they're going to do better. I forgot he's your boy. I'm just playing. I'm with
Look
you.
at
I
the
think they'll do a little
offense, man.
better. They'll do a
Saints
little bit
fan or
better.
not, look at the numbers Breeze and Peyton put up. And if you think Wilson doesn't have it as much or just enough talent as Breeze, I don't know how to compare the two. I
I
think
mean, it
Breeze
can't
is.
get any worse than it did last year either. So I mean, I seriously, to this day, all I remember is the Colts 12-9 overtime win where KJ Hamler is wide open in front of me and Russ just literally, oh, and then it gets like picked off or deflect or something and they lose. Like it is terrible. But like you said, we're not talking about the Broncos this week. We can save them for next week. Shout out my boy Russ. Hey, he was the glue guy in my fantasy team last year, so I appreciate him. Always
Russ,
showed up. Yeah,
that's
he's my glue
hilarious.
guy. Couldn't drop him.
I
At that
almost
point, I was in too deep with him. I'm like, he's the meme of the locker room. We need to keep him around. He's the guy that everyone's just like, yeah.
I almost drafted him last this year, but in my other
Yeah.
fantasy league I did yesterday. But speaking of NFC North, we're not speaking of NFC North at all. But bringing it to the NFC North, you got the Lions, that's the favorite, who I really don't believe in at all. You got the Bears, who upcoming upstart. I think they're 2 or 3 seasons away, if at all, from competing in anything. A lot of people like the Packers at a long shot in this division. Not even a long shot, plus 400. I've heard a lot of people on the Packers, whether it's in the media, the radio, or via the X app, baby, Twitter. I'm on the Vikings in this one. I think Kirk Cousins gets a lot of hate. I think he still
Plus
has
250.
plus 275.
Woo! Sorry, you can keep going. I just want to give out the odds while you were going.
Yeah.
People knew.
Yeah, Packers 400, Bears 400, Lions plus 130, Vikings plus 275. I'm on the Vikings. I think they get 12 to 13 wins just as they did last season. I'm not saying they're going to do anything special in the playoffs, but I think they're going to win games, and I think they're going to win games against this division. I think they better than the Bears, Lions, and Packers on both sides of the ball. I just I can't bet on Jared Goff and Dan Campbell to not do what they did last year.
Jared Gurf.
They did
My
end the
boy.
season on a great run, but they started off the season 1-6. They're missing Jamal Williams, who's now in the dirty South with New Orleans. I just don't see this team being better than they were last year, even though they got a lot of hype. They were last year's Hard Knocks hype. That's another thing that kind of scares me off of the Jets a little bit, going back to that. But I'm on the Vikings here, man. I think Kirk Cousins has a good. He's a great. I don't want to go say great. I don't know how to describe Kirk Cousins. I don't hate the guy. He gets the ball to his stars and lets them do their
Good.
thing.
Man, I almost wore my "You Like That" shirt today. Now I'm pissed off. It was just a little too hot today. So I didn't put it on. But I almost shout out Kirk Cousins. But yeah, for my sports book, 145 Lions plus 260 Vikings plus 350 Packers plus 430 Bears. I'm basically in the same boat with you. The reason I was laughing while you were talking is shout out my boy Cha Cha, the Bears fan. thinks the Bears are going to win 12 games this year.
I don't think they
All
get.
right, we're going to let that linger. I basically had the same reaction. I'm just like, hey, man, I appreciate it. He thinks Justin Fields is going to win MVP. A lot of hype for the Bears. I'm just like, all right, love it.
Sometimes you got to take the fan away from the better. You know, you got to be two different people. That's like me telling you Derek Carr for MVP.
You don't know these Bears fans I know, man. They no. They get they. I tell you what, Chicago's getting rich off those sports books from those Bears fans. I tell you what. No, I'm basically with you. I'm kind of agree. I'm stuck between. Honestly, when it comes to division, it's not too hard. I'm only stuck between the Lions, Vikings, and Packers on who I think will win it. Not that hard of a choice. Just kidding. I have no fucking clue. This is the one division I'm so lost on. Like, emphasis on the F word. I am lost. I don't know. I mean, Packers, great odds play. I would love to take that. Vikings would also love to take that, but they were like 11-1 in one-score games last year. That makes me nervous because to do that 2 years in a row means, like, man, you got some really good luck going, but can't win the big ones when they matter. Like, it's just, comes to this division, I truly have no earthly idea. The Lions win total is like 9.5. The Packers are 7.5. Vikings are 8.5. That's basically like win total wise. They're all basically right there sitting with each other. So you really honestly couldn't go wrong.
Let me ask you this question. Out of those three teams, which one you think has the best chance to win 12 games?
Man, if I can try and just remember their schedules roughly off the top of my head, I mean, I want to say probably the Packers. I hate to say it for the Vikings. The Vikings are going to be sneaky bad on defense this year, I think. They got, as much as I do love your pick with them, they got a lot of, they haven't really announced it fully yet because they obviously re-signed Danielle Hunter. But I mean, if you look at their defense, they're in basically rebuild mode on defense. They already announced like this is Kirk Cousins they didn't say it was Kirk Cousins last year's, but they're basically in a prove it year. They said they didn't say that either, but they used all the professional terms to basically say like, hey, you got to prove it. We're done with you this year. So there's I've seen a lot of smoke around there in Minnesota. It's making me a little nervous because, like I said, too, their defense is not going to be nearly as good as last year, and it was so par last year.
It was bad.
Really, I think it's the Packers. Truly because I'm a defensive player. At the end of the day, I tend to lean back on defense, and I just think about A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones on offense, and then you got the whole Packers defense. I truly think like the Packers plus 350. I think that's a really good odds for this division. Like I said, for me, this division is just an odds play. I'm not like, I don't want to say I'm totally punting this division with my pick, but I just have no clue. And for plus 145, as much as I do like the Lions, I'm just not going to, you don't need to take it right now. They're going to lose to the Chiefs week 1, most likely, and they might lose to somebody else week 2. That's a gamble you can play, and then you might get slightly better odds when they start off the year, maybe 0-2 or 1-1. You can maybe get it like plus 170, maybe. But if they beat the Chiefs, then all of a sudden they're just going to be minus 200 or some shit like that. So I don't know. I mean, the Lions are just getting too much hype. I don't mind. I think they're going to be good, but I mean, a Lions fan I truly follow and like keep saying 10-7 in a playoff win. I think the Packers can go 11-6 and just win it by a game that easily, potentially. So I tend to lean Packers there, but I know it's really long-winded, but that basically is how my mind process. It goes on forever, and I'm just like, fuck it, Packers. For the odd, plus 350 too for the odds, like it's more of an odds play than like a team play. If the Lions were around like plus 180, I would probably lean them.
Yeah, if you shop around, I mean they're 400 on my book, so you could probably find even some better odds.
Let me log into that book.
Going down to the dirty South, the NFC South. Man, it's hard for me to really give a true gambler's opinion on this division. Saints have a lot of hype around them. Saints have had a lot of hype around them the last 2 or 3 years, and I believed it. This year, I don't believe it. Falcons, baby, plus 200. They are a nationwide favorite, believe it or not, to win the NFC South. They're supposed to be sneaky good with that run game of theirs, drafting Bijan, Mustard, Johnson. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, plus 375. And then you got the Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask at plus 900. I see you holding up the Falcons, coach. Is that who you're taking in this division? I'm on the Saints plus 125 because who that I tell you what, they're gonna beat them Saints. Although, as I told you last week, I am not excited about Derek Carr and Dennis Allen.
You're not excited, but you're excited. I love it. No, this is another one of the divisions where I kind of don't know. Win totals 8.5 for Falcons, 9.5 for Saints. I think The only thing, the reason I'm probably going to pick the Saints, the reason I lean Saints this division is they have the easiest schedule in the NFL, like top 3, 2, 1 confirmed easiest schedules in the NFL. I mean, if you want to go list off the name of their quarterbacks, I don't have the schedule pulled up to me, but if anybody go look up their schedule, their quarterbacks, I mean, if you read their schedule, they play. If you think of all the playoff teams from last year, they maybe play 1 or 2, maybe, and their defense is supposed to be just as good as it was last year. But that being said, odds wise, if I'm going to play the odds game, Bucks are plus 17 or plus 750. Panthers are about plus 360. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think if I'm going to take an odds play at plus 210, I am going to take the Falcons just because I think they are going to have a potential step up in year 2. It's just at the end of the day for me, it's kind of, do I want Derek Carr or Desmond Ritter? And when you're having that conversation, you probably shouldn't be gambling. But I had to put money on it. I mean, like I said, I'm probably going to lean Saints. Saints there. Let's see if it's changed real quick in my book. Just my plus 130 now for the Saints, so it's gone. Oh no, it's still the same. My fault. Yep, everything's still the same for that. So I tend to lean Saints just for I think they have a really easy schedule. But I would have no issue if I put a bet on the Saints, bet on the Falcons, bet on the Saints to make my money back, bet on the Falcons to be like, hey, let's try to get a little bit extra.
I think
That's probably what's going to end up happening, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those divisions where you could catch it week by week and maybe get good numbers on a few teams.
Do you know the Saints schedule, by the way? Because I think them and the Falcons played like 1 or 2 of the games in the last season, so it could come down to that.
We usually play them last, man. I don't have it. I know we play the Titans first, and that's about it. I kind of go week by week like I'm part of the team, like a dummy. I don't really be looking future. Yeah, so
Falcons week 12 after the bye in week 18. So that week 18 game could truly end up being for the division. I tell you what, if you place a bet on the Saints and Falcons and you go into that week 18 game, might be a good feeling for you. That's at least what I'm.
And then you probably have it. If you got tickets on each side, you could probably hedge it however you're feeling that weekend on the single game, maybe.
Exactly.
And yeah, like you said, I did it with the Big East in college basketball last year. Each week, just when one team went down or up, I just ended up with great numbers on tickets on every team pretty much. I had like 4 of the top teams in the Big East and made a profit on Marquette. But you could probably do that in this division for sure, in NFC South, with all these teams throughout the year. You could probably catch the Falcons at some point, maybe plus 400, 500, and then do the same thing with the Saints after they lose 3 in a row because Derek Carr and Dennis Allen are our quarterback and coach.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think they lose 3 in a row this year. I mean, truly, they should only at worst lose like 2 in a row. Maybe lose back-to-back because they just have a bad 2 weeks. But they lose 3 in a row, and that means something dangerous is happening with their season. Because truly, seriously, I know you watch football and you're still a football guy too, but as a football guy, I just look at that schedule. It's like, man, I haven't seen a schedule like that. It might as well be Georgia. No, I'm just playing. It's the NFL. It's always going to be tough. They could easily lose 3 weeks in a row. Especially if the books want them to.
Because I haven't looked at the schedule really. And when I did look at the schedule, I feel like I remember it being a tough schedule. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm scared of the Saints. Yeah, but
you're biased. You're biased here. For the show's sake, right here, I'll read it out. Tennessee Titan, Ryan Tannehill. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young. Packers, Jordan Love. Bucks, who the hell knows who's going to be their quarterback week 4? Might still be Baker. Week 5, New England, Mac Jones. Texans, week 6, C.J. Stroud. Week 7, Jaguars, Lawrence. Week 8, Colts, Anthony Richardson. Week 9, Bears, Fields. 10 is Vikings, and you get the rest. Falcons, Lions, Panthers, Giants, Rams, Bucks. You get the idea. I mean, truly, they do
lose to any one of these teams, man. You just told me how the Packers are good enough to win the division. You just told me.
The only thing is, I was about to say, the only thing is all these teams are playing are teams that like have so much upside, but it's like they're lost in the fog. Like the mirage of the fog is coming in, and either it's going to come in and it's the mist from Stephen King, or it's just a cloud that's too low to the ground. It's truly, we don't know. But I mean, if it's how it's supposed to be this year, the Colts only win like 6 games. Titans won't win this much.
I think the Colts go over, man. And speaking of
I think they do too, but
speaking of that division,
let's go to the division.
That's the
plus 550.
That's the last division I do want to talk about today, and then we can maybe talk college real quick. But Jaguars minus 155, Tennessee Titans plus 325, the Indianapolis Colts, who I think are gonna go.
I got my pundit hat on.
I didn't realize you put the hat on. But I think the Colts, not even because of you, I think they're going to go over their win total, get 7 or 8 wins. Don't think they're going to win the division, though. And then you got the Houston Texans, who a lot of people are hype on to go over their win total as well. I think this division is going to be a little more competitive than it looks. I think the Jaguars are going to struggle against teams like the Colts and the Texans, as well as the Titans are going to struggle against. I think there's going to be no easy road division wise for these teams, same as most of these divisions. But this year, I think it's even tighter than it looks. I'm on the Titans at plus 325, not because of
Not
Hopkins,
bad.
not because of Henry, not because of Vrabel, because of Ryan Tannehill for MVP, baby. Give me the Tennessee Titans at plus 325 and Ryan Tannehill to have his prove it year. This guy is good. I don't know why he hasn't been able to shake the bag. He's been pretty trash when he needs to be good, but I think this year he could put together a solid 17 games, and we'll see what happens in the damn playoffs. But I think the Titans get 12, 13 wins and take this division from the Jaguars, and I think Texans and Colts end up around 7 to 8 wins each. Where you at on this division? I know you're a Colts fan, but I know you're a smarter man than that.
I thought you were kidding this whole time with the Ryan Tannehill thing. I was sitting there, it's like, where's it just kidding? Where's it just kidding? No, I think I'm with you. I think Ryan Tannehill will have a little bit better year. I mean,
Real quick, I don't think he wins the MVP at all. I don't think he comes close to winning the MVP, but I do think he's going to have a pretty good year.
No, he probably should, especially with them adding DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, you've seen the bad quarterbacks DeAndre Hopkins has played with, and he's made them. I mean, that dude has a catch radius the size of a pond. I mean, it's if you want to bet the Jaguars for this division, just wait a little bit. There's no way they say minus 155 all year. This is going to be, if you want to bet this division, kind of bet it the opposite. Wait a little bit for the first two teams. Bet the second two teams now. Like, I already have a ticket for the Colts to win the Super Bowl at plus 2,000. I think it's like 10 to win 2,000. Already can cash out for $12 because it's gone down to 10 to win 1,000 since they drafted Richardson. Also I have not done it yet, but I am going to place a ticket on the Colts to win a division because the Colts are going to win the division. All right. Now, when it comes to this division, honestly, I really do want to take the Jaguars a little bit, but I think they're going to have a little bit of a step back here this year. The same thing happened in 2017. Amazing year in 2017. 2018 happens, and we don't hear about the Jaguars until 2022. I still think they're going to be decent. Doug Peterson, really good year. They're getting Calvin Ridley off injury. I mean, that boy was gambling. Had to suspend it a year. But like I said, I gave out my show. I like the Titans for the odds. I gave it out plus 350 before they got DeAndre Hopkins. Now since dropped in my book to plus 310. I mean, truly, it's when it comes down to this team, Mike Vrabel and his defense, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins. And yeah, Ryan Tannehill just has to be above average, and I think they could easily win the division. It's going to be a game where it's going to come down to every second game. I think all these teams are going to be splitting the division. By the time we end up playing each other, it's going to happen. I mean, it happened basically last year. The Colts truly had a chance to win their division going into like the late weeks of the year, and we all know how bad they were. This is one of those divisions where like it's going to probably end up splitting. The Colts always lose in Jacksonville, and they somehow beat them at home. The Titans. It's going to come down to who sweeps. I think truly it's going to come down between the Titans and Jaguars. If they split, they got to sweep one of the other two. If they don't sweep one of the other two, and the other team does, and I think that's going to end up winning the division. It's either you got to sweep somebody. That's how I view the division this year. You got to sweep somebody to win it. I mean, even the Colts, if they split with everybody and the Colts just happen to sweep one of those two teams, they can end up winning and making the playoffs. That's what's crazy about it. Obviously, they'd have to win another few games, but it's a realistic chance. So, I mean, like I said, the fan in me with the Colts hat on is betting the Colts plus 550. Already has a Super Bowl ticket. Already has a Colts tab open here on FanDuel. I'm going to stare out while you're talking. And then the real better in me is probably going to take the Titans. I already can cash out for a little bit of extra money, but we're just going to watch. I'm very excited, though. That being said, for the Colts, I think, like you said, win total is going to go over because I truly think they're going to have a special year this year. I just think it's always how it goes. First year, no one knows what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson. No one has a clue. So he's going to be able to catch people off guard. And then next year is where he's going to have to build because people are going to get a year of watching him. I'm just glad the Colts started Anthony Richardson. That's the biggest end of the day because now it's a new era in the 3-1-7. Like I said, probably picking the Titans, even though I'm going to bet on my damn Colts and waste some money. But I'm going to hopefully give the FanDuel by betting on the Colts. That way they give back to me later in the season.
Hey, there you go.
Especially when the Colts win the
Super Bowl. A little bit of yang.
Oh, yeah. How does it be sometimes? That's how I know I'm a square for betting on my team sometimes. But, hey, sometimes you just got to donate to the books a little bit so they can give you some loving back. That's all it is. Sometimes you just take a little too much. You got to can't always be too greedy. You know what I mean? Got to be a little kind.
I'm not mad at the division ticket because I can't see this team having an upside of winning 11 games and somehow sweeping both the Jaguars and the Texans and splitting with the Titans and somehow winning the division. But the Super Bowl
Really good.
ticket, that's where I think you got a problem, young man. But those are
Hey,
the four
$10.
divisions that
$10 win 2,000. You can't tell me that's a bad bet. Hey, a bad bet. That's a great bet.
that's
The
a
odds
hard
aren't going to
bet.
get any better than that.
It's
The odds aren't going to get any better than that.
$10 lost, man.
Hey,
Guaranteed.
you say that until they're first place in the division, going 8-1 through week 9. All of a sudden, everyone's like, "Are the Colts back?"
Yeah, you're
a
definitely a
waste of
delusional
$10.
fan.
Hey, I can cash out now and make an extra $2 back. So who's the delusional fan now?
Hot and spicy, baby. But yeah, those are the four bets that I put in already. Titans to win their division, Vikings
I'm
to
with
win
you
their
there.
division,
I'm going Packers there.
Saints to win their division,
I'm with Saints and Falcons there.
and I forgot the other one. Jets, baby.
Oh, Jets, baby.
Jets. Aaron Rodgers, the
Jets,
GOAT.
Jets.
What's have you looked at college football week 0 yet? I know we're gonna do a deep dive into it next week and give out all the bets, but is there one game that you like right now that you think maybe the line moves, or is there a line that you're waiting to move to see, or have you even looked at all at week 0 of college foosball?
I haven't looked too much, but Kent State plus 34.5. I'm just playing. I haven't looked too much. There's just usually week 0. Last year I took one game week 0, and I think I took Northwestern on their only win over Nebraska. Shout out. But it's just one of those things. I don't really. What day is week 0? The 26th, right?
Next Saturday.
I think it's the week. Yeah, so it's like I'm probably. And USC. I mean, it's tempting to take USC minus 30.5 with Caleb Williams, just solely on the fact that they should blow them the hell out to start the year. But week 0 is one of those weeks I hate it, man. It's all big ass spreads and terrible numbers, and it's just basically it's a waste of a week of college football when it comes to like the betting side of it, because it's basically just a tune up for 90% of these teams. We finally got teams that are ranked playing on week 0, which is kind of nice this year. But I mean, yeah, like Notre Dame minus 20.5. I mean, I'll take it if it gets 19 maybe, but I'd rather be on the Navy's 20.5 side than stress Notre Dame trying to cover 3 touchdowns. I mean, maybe UTEP. UTEP's probably my one lean right now.
The Mighty
I don't know
Miners.
I don't know if I want to take money line though, or spreads minus 1.5, one up minus 105, money line minus 113. But past that, yeah, looking at the rest of these, I mean, oh boy, this is a lot of football I do not want to touch. Maybe Hawaii plus 17.5.
I'm gonna tell you this, man.
If I'm doing that, then I'm in a bad spot, because usually when I'm betting on Hawaii, it's late at night.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, let's see if I can make a little extra change.
See if I can get it back, man. But I'm on Navy plus 20.5. I'm hoping it gets to 21. Take it again, and I'm gonna be on the over on UTEP and Jacksonville State. Give me a little scratch to my itch of betting and watching college football on
What's
a
the
Saturday.
over for you?
Huh?
What's the over for you?
What, 50 and a hook, 51 and a hook?
I'd say I got 51 in the hook. A
I'd
lot of
take it.
points.
I'd take it up to 52. 52 and a hook.
I know, it's just after seeing baseball over unders for 3 months now, it's like, damn, 51. I gotta readjust the mind.
Yeah, you gotta adjust readjust the temperature.
51
Nah, I
does
think
feel
it
like a
gets to
lot. I
54
won't lie to you,
plus,
but it is
man.
college.
I think they get over
Oh,
54.
ooh. I am actually going to be looking at a lot of unders for the first few weeks of the season. I just remembered they changed the rule. Running clock until the last 2 minutes of each half now in college football. They took away the stoppages after first downs.
After
So
first down?
that is something to look. Yeah, so you know how when they have a first down, usually they stop to move the chains?
Yeah, it's my
Stop the clock
favorite
to
part
move the
about
games.
college football.
Took it out to make the games quicker, because some
I
games
feel
would
like
take
they should have
now
added
there's
that
gonna
to bro, I gotta tell you something off air. I feel like they should have added that to NFL games, bro. I used to love that about college games. Just get the first down.
Yeah.
You can take a breath.
I do love that too, except for there are some games where it's like, oh my god, we're only in the second quarter. It's been 4 hours. But no, they did take it out of the game though, so that is something to make sure you watch that for some unders for the first few weeks till they adjust, because there are going to be, especially if you find the right pace of play teams, because there is a chance that these unders are juiced for the pre nonstop clock era. Because from now on, if they catch a ball, they get a first down. That thing is moving to the last 2 minutes like the NFL. Because slowly, if we're being honest, it seems like you're trying to turn college football into the NFL.
Yeah, man. It's a minor league.
Oh man, it's crazy what the American dollar's doing to college sports. And I'm not like an old man who's sitting on my chair like, oh, I hate that they're doing this. I just like there's just some stuff you don't need to, like the conference realignment. They don't need to go to the super conference that they're eventually going to do. They can just there's other ways to go around. There's just some stuff they don't need to do, and they're just
Yeah, I think
doing
they
it,
could
man.
have. I think they could have made. I mean, there's a lot of things they could have did. We don't have to get on this topic, but I think they could have made like maybe one or two less conference games, one or two more out conference games, just to if y'all want that money to see Ohio State,
Exactly.
UCLA, or whatever the hell matchup
They just
you
need,
want to
you
see.
should have just encouraged the teams to quit. Excuse my language. They should what they should have done is just told the teams to quit being bitches, basically. Be like, hey, I know you want to play all these little teams so you can go 9-0, but we'll reward you if you're like 9-2, but you lose to Alabama by a close score, lose to Georgia by a close score. Like I wish they would do more of that. Where like I understand like then the smaller schools like we went 15-0, we should be there. It's like, eh. And I mean, it's not going to matter at the end of the day because they're going to go to the college football playoff format next year, so they're going to have the 8 teams in. So it's going to change it anyway. But it's just one of those things where I wish they would reward teams more for playing a tougher schedule because I honestly they reward teams more for just basically having a zero at the end of their name, no matter what they got.
Exactly.
What you got?
My
What we got
bad.
going on over there?
I
No,
ain't
I
gonna
was in the
lie.
middle of it, and I was
I did
like, and I
some.
just saw you grinning like the butcher's dog. So I'm like, oh, that boy saw something funny.
I will say this. I admit it, man. This is a gambling show. This Captain Buy Hook with the red beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I don't like to. I don't always do this, but I woke up a little early this morning. I woke up about 3:30. Usually wake
Uh
up
oh.
about 4:30. I'm looking through the books. You know that little live button be getting you sometimes. You know, and you start looking at Korean baseball lines, and you get flashbacks of COVID
Oh
year.
boy.
And I don't know if
Oh
you was,
boy.
I don't know if you was betting Korea baseball with me back in 2020, but
Chinese basketball.
that's a good one too. I ended up putting a two leg in, and I never parlay either. That's why this whole story is crazy. But I never parlay, but I ended up putting a two leg in, and I've been kind of watching it throughout the show. And the Kiwoom
That's
Heroes, which are my favorite team since 2020, just because of the name, the Kiwoom Heroes, they were down 2-1, and they ended up winning 5-4. I had the money line with that one, and I had the run line on some team called the
Did you have this?
Swallows.
Were you actually watching the game or was it the score watching?
Just yeah, I just kept. I had it open in two tabs with the scores, and I just kept checking
That's
it.
hilarious.
But honestly, I just
I
logged
was
back
just,
into the book, and they just and my money was there. I didn't even
I,
like. I haven't looked in a
I saw
while.
you. I saw you doing this with the picture. I'm like, I wonder what he's doing. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going with the answer. I'm assuming it's something to do with something we're about to bring up. And then I just saw you grinning, looking down. Like, I know he ain't listening to me anymore. We're on
No, I
we're
was
on the outside.
listening, but I had to send it to the homie too. My homie back in Phoenix. He
I told you to ride.
nah, it was just like in
I
COVID
wasn't
year.
even up.
In, in COVID year, we used to root for the Kiwoom Heroes, man. So I was like,
That's hilarious. Hey, that's pretty awesome though. Shout out.
the
Yeah,
Kiwoom
back
Heroes, man.
man, that COVID betting was some dangerous stuff. I remember me and my buddy were just like literally up late at night. Like, and this was when we were both in college. So I'm like, we'd be gaming sometimes in the middle of like 2K games or something. Be like, all right, you taking the Wu-Tang spiders or you taking the Jawa spider monkeys? It's like, I don't know. I kind of like them spider monkeys tonight.
Yeah.
Plus 25.5. And no clue what's going on. You gotta love it, man. Ain't nothing better. That's a true gambling show when you know that boy waking up at 3:30 for you guys, setting up the show, looking up these rat lines to get himself set up for the day.
No, man.
Love to see
Yeah.
it.
I wrote a couple articles, did some homework, and was looking through lines, and just I don't know, man. I couldn't stop myself. This is probably the second time I've done it this
That boy
season.
found the cheese.
Bet on, but no, it was a good plus 269 two leg parlay, little hit, get the day going. Already plus money on the day, even if my other two bets don't hit, which I almost forgot to give out. I was about to close the show down tonight, man. I don't know if you looked at the
Oh
lines,
yeah, we haven't yet.
but I'm on the
Um,
Orioles on the run line, taking on the worst team in baseball. Give me Kyle Gibson, baby, on the run line. Baltimore Orioles -1.5, -115. And then the other team I'm betting on is the best team in baseball right now. I think this team is going to win the World Series, and I hate to say it. I know I gave out Braves, Astros, but the Brooklyn Bums, the LA Dodgers, I think this team is going to make a run this year and go at least to the World Series. Give me the Dodgers tonight on the run line. Sandy
ooh,
Alcantara has not been himself. At least he has not been up to his Cy Young standards. Give me the Dodgers on the run line tonight at home at plus 45. I like the odds. I like the juice. I think the Dodgers behind Tony and Gosselin win this game 7-2, 8-2, something crazy like that. Although I will say Miami Marlins have been playing tough games, been putting up 5, 6 runs a game. So I don't know. But I'm on the Dodgers on the run line. I think Tony Gosselin has a great start through 5 or 6 innings. I love this guy, man. I love the Dodgers all around. No matter what injuries have thrown at them this season, they've just gotten
really
better and better. And Betts and Freeman are carrying them to the promised land. Boy, oh boy.
Are you on the O's run line?
Yeah, those are the only 2 bets. O's run line, Dodgers run line.
Hey, I don't mind those at all. I think just got that boy, fat baby. Silent P. I'm just kidding. I'm not betting on the damn D-backs. I feel like we already got our game with them yesterday. There's one lean I'm kind of taking right now a little bit, but I'm kind of scared because this team is like sneaky hot. Yeah, I kind of want to take the Cubbies on the run line, but them Royals, man, they've been. I don't know how many more Royals games. I just want to stress out watching them make the game close.
Exactly.
That's one that's like, yeah, it's getting to the point. I'm starting to get a little pissed off. It's like, man, these Royals just won't go away. It's like, y'all know you want a better pick, right? And I don't. So it makes me a little nervous. I'm probably gonna take the Cubs today -1.5. If you got an extra change in your pocket and you want to ride with me, I think I got a little extra change today. I might take the Tigers plus money on the money line at 411. I think they have a doubleheader today. If they don't, if they do, I like the first game at +102. Anytime I can bet the Tigers against another AFC. I about said AFC Central. AL Central. I about said AC Central. I was all over the place with these letters. Now we need to get to football. These sports are starting to
merge.
I might take the Tigers though. Tigers are a little lean of mine at plus money just because I don't know though. We'll see though because I bet the Tigers 2 games I think last series and it was the 2 games they lost or I bet them the game. I flipped it and I didn't bet them 1 game and they won and then I bet them a game they lost. And I didn't bet them another game they won. One of those things, something like that. So yeah, we'll see. Tigers are maybe. I for sure like the Cubs -1.5 and I think 2 more. Give me the Braves -1.5 against the Giants. A little nervous about that boy Strider. He had a really bad outing last time, so hopefully he can clean it up a little bit. Gave up a few 2-minute runs, so hopefully this time he does not. And then the last one.
My bad. Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh no, go. You can go ahead.
I was about to say,
What
one
you
of the 2
about
games
the
I like at plus money is the Giants money line and the Pirates money line. I'm deciding on if I'm gonna take them or not. But the Pirates been pretty good this week, taking on the Twins, and I don't know, man.
Pirates not a bad play at all. I love the Pirates one.
I +190. I am thinking about that one a lot. But the Giants also
just make me nervous.
Always, and the Braves could easily put up 10 runs and it'd be over. But
yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, do I want to be on the side of the team that's really good or the side of the team that's good on Tuesdays? It does make me really nervous. I'm with you though. I do not mind that at all. I think the Braves one is probably my scariest pick. I'm going to give out that and the Tigers, but my 2 safer ones, I do like the Cubs at -1.5. And then give me the damn Rangers. I think on the money line. I think they're -120 against the Brewers who just got swept. So I'm gonna. So the Brewers win a game. I'm just going to try to fade them with decent odds while I can because the odds so far each day have gotten better and better and better. Last night, the Dodgers went from like -380 to -230, -145. Now this team's -120. So not bad odds. I'll take it. Why not? Give it to me. And them Ranger boys.
It's Friday night, and doesn't it just feel like the Texas Rangers are going to put up 12 runs tonight? They got shut out against the
No,
Angels
but I hope they
ago.
do.
It feels like they.
I hope they do. Honestly, they were really quiet. I think like either the last time they played or the night before. I think it was they almost got shut out by Reed Detmers and the Angels. That was man. I saw him walk 2 people on. I didn't realize it was walks not hits. So I bet on the Rangers a little bit, and then I looked like, oh damn, he's still throwing a no-hitter. And then he got hit the very next inning, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I feel like the Rangers are going to come back a little offense. I know Woodruff isn't bad, but it's starting to that point too in the later of the season where teams are just struggling a little bit. Teams are tired. Teams getting worn out.
Dog days of August, baby. Everybody's spending all day. Instead of being in the batting cage, they looking at NFL futures on FanDuel. No, I'm playing.
Just don't do it in the clubhouse. You'll get suspended 6 games.
But yeah, man.
Idiot.
I think it's gonna be a good day. Gonna be a great week. Leading up to week 0 next week.
So close.
I know. It's definitely now it's just annoying waiting for it. You got anything on preseason this weekend you want to talk about or anything at all? If not, we can shut this thing down.
I
heard
shout out the
somebody.
Browns last night.
Yeah. You told me you had a plus the spread on
Plus
them.
3.5. The game ended 18-18.
I saw
Nick
that.
Sirianni 0-3-2 now, still in preseason games. So that is, I'd love to see that. Looking at these preseason games, DJ Stroud is starting again. I might take the Colts against the Bears. I'm going to do anything because Anthony Richardson, from what it sounds like, cooked the Bears this weekend. So that's a little bit of a tempting lean, but minus 210, minus 1.5. So I might wait for some movement. Past that, I'm probably not going to take much preseason. I'm going to lie to you. Looking at a lot of these games, it's not. It's weird. I just feel like there's not, like, I felt like the Browns were a really good spot last night where it was like a good, nice pull up from half court. I don't know if I want to pull up on half court and need one. If anything, I like Ravens -3 plus 100. I do actually really like that one, especially at plus money. Even if you want to take a little juice on the money line, minus 145, not terrible at all. That is probably about it. Maybe tempting to also maybe take the Raiders because they blew out the 49ers 34-7, and they're only minus 3.5 against the Rams. But for sure, the only one I'm taking is the Ravens at -3.
Yeah, they're minus 2.5 on my book.
Oh yeah, ooh,
Shop around,
I
people.
like that. I can get that tie, baby, and just get my money back. Ain't nothing better. It's like kissing your sister.
Whoa. On
Say.
that note,
That's what my coaches used to
this
say.
is Captain by a hook with the red
Not
beard.
me. I don't do it.
Presented by Stare Down Sports. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs. My man Jaden Chandler Parnell from the JC Pod on
Plus
YouTube.
550.
Yes, sir. He
Plus
gives out
1,000.
crazy stuff like that all the time on his podcast. Also gives out some pretty decent, accurate, and intelligent takes on the sport of football and all sports across the gambling world. My man, thank you for coming on the show. I love having you every Friday.
Thank you for having me.
I look forward to next week where we can dive into some college football, week 0, even if it is nothing to really look at. I'm going to put at least 2 or 3 bets in. And then the following week, we got some real football going on, and I'm looking forward to talking to you all football season here on Captain by a Hook.
Woo!
Thank you again for coming on,
Great
man.
Day. Hey, thank you for having me. Truly, thank you for having me, though. It's always a blast. Always a blast to the point now. It's one of the things I look forward to in the morning. Talk a little sports, gets the day going, because ain't nothing better than starting the day out with some sports talk.
Nah, I do this show every day by myself, and I do look forward to Fridays having you on, and just you always bring a laugh or two and some your perspective, man. I love it. Go ahead, though. What you was about to say?
A young man perspective. I was gonna say 2 things. One, the Colts plus 10,000, so they were plus 20,000. The other one, I was off at 0. Second one, can't wait to have you. Can't wait to have you on for futures. That's why we're getting that one out of the way. Can't wait to have you on though for futures on my show. Hopefully, we'll talk about it here soon. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I need to get you on my show more often. I wish I could do. If I did it more weekly, I feel like if I did more weekly, it'd be more of a thing. But it's like I feel like it's been a minute though. We need to get you back on.
No, I look forward.
Yeah,
to it,
I'm juiced, man. The fact that we're even talking NFL futures right now, we're talking about this means
it's that time of year, man. Yeah, I'm gonna dive deep into the other 4 divisions. I can't call it in those other 4 divisions, and then of course,
hey man.
But we could talk about that next week. Definitely will be a blast. Everybody out there, take all these wagers at your own risk. Please gamble responsibly, and
What's plus 10,000?
don't bet the Colts to win the Super Bowl.
Don't bet